Welcome to the Coffee with Phil and Jim podcast, where two guys drink coffee and talk about stuff. And now your hosts, Phil and Jimmy Nick.
Alright, here we go. In 3, 2... Hey everyone, Phil here with the Coffee, Phil and Jim podcast, and next to me is...
Jimmy Nick.
And we're in a studio today, moving locations. Originally we started in my house, but my daughter had a lot of schoolwork to do, so we are having to move it to our original studio location, the Thrive House. So we want to welcome everybody listening today. We do have a special guest that we want to introduce here in a second, but before we do, you'll make sure that you search, subscribe, and share. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Hook us up on our YouTube channel, and always you can find us wherever you get your audio podcast. Want to give a big shout out to chilloutandserve.com. Make sure you go on to chilloutandserve.com, put your email in there so you can get all the new content. And the past couple of weeks have been on point.
On point, but we didn't have one this week. He said he kind of got some backlash from people around the country because he didn't get one out this week.
That's how many people really listen
to that thing. It's really good and it's interesting. I like it. I enjoy it. I watch it every week.
So. It's very convicting because he gets right to. He explains scripture, and he gets right to and there's something about reading. You know, somebody tells you something from Scripture and it convicts you.
Right.
It seems like it's a little bit different when you read it. Like, it maybe hits a little bit harder because you're taking the time. Because you can block people out, but if you're taking the time to read the blog. So, if you want to be a disciple, if you want to grow, definitely hit up chilloutandserve.com. And then, if you haven't, we gave a shout out last time to a new podcast. It's basically talks about sports and faith, and it's hosted by some good friends of ours, and it's called the Church Guys Podcast. The Church Guys Podcast. I believe you can find them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so far, and this past episode, they really talked about football season and that type of stuff. They're only like 2 episodes in, but... I remember when we were 2 episodes in. Man, it was overwhelming.
That was a long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, without further ado, we want to introduce our guest. He is a family member. He's of our church family. He's a brother in Christ. And we want to welcome Brett Barber. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Brett. Welcome.
Hello. How y'all doing?
So, Brett, tell us and tell those that are listening a little bit about yourself.
Well, before we get into that,
no.
Everybody's expecting this. I was asking about it last night.
Let's hear it.
Or night before last, I guess it was. So, anyway, I thought, well, I'll play the Brett song.
Okay.
But he spells it with 2 T's. So I said, that don't work. He spells this with 1. So I couldn't do that. So I thought, well, I'll play the fireman, George Strait. The only problem is George putting out different types of fires. He's not putting out house fires.
Yeah.
So I said, I better not play that. So anyway, I'm kind of torn between 2 of them. I'll play part of this one, then I'll play the one that I actually did really pick for him. Here's the first one.
This cat's name is Alley-Oo.
All right, so that was a close one for me. I thought that'd probably fit him, but I went with this one because I understand you only got 1 T on the end of that name, and there's a reason for it in there.
Yeah.
Is this it?
Who is the tall, dark stranger?
That's the reason for it.
Wow.
That's the New Orleans. Living on Jackson, Queens. Maverick is a legend of the West.
All right, there it goes.
Thank the Lord for my mom. That I don't have that name.
But that was going to be it, huh?
Yes.
Brett Maverick.
That's what my dad wanted to name me.
Brett Maverick.
Oh, man. I'd probably either got beat up a lot or been really tough.
You go down Norman, stand next to the statue, and get your picture taken.
Yeah. Mr. James Garner.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Wow, that's old school. Like, when did that come out?
It's in the 50s, late 50s, or middle 50s, late 50s.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And then, well, he kept doing it off and on. He ended up in that movie with Mel Gibson, Maverick.
Yeah.
He did that.
Yeah.
They did the remake, yeah. The whole
That
movie.
was good.
So
That's a good movie.
There was a couple
Yeah.
of TV versions of that in there too during that time. But nah, that's a classic. Maverick's a classic.
Yep.
Even had old Roger Moore was in that too. He was the English one, wasn't he? The
Yeah.
English cousin or something.
You know what movie that I haven't seen in years we watched the other day was Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
That's like I've forgotten what that was like.
I know. It's just
Yeah.
so sad, wasn't it? Really terrible. You want to sing the song?
No, it's okay.
Oh, come on.
I'd like to hear that.
Sing it. Come on, sing Moon
Oh.
River for us. Come on, Phil. Probably cried all through that part.
Yeah.
She's out there on the window ledge playing the guitar.
Playing the guitar.
Yeah.
No. I cried because he kept getting rejected. I'm like, man.
Feel his pain.
Yeah. All the time.
And wasn't there? Didn't she have a husband? It was old.
Yeah.
It was old.
Jed
Jed
Clampett. Yeah, Jed Clampett.
Yeah.
When he in that part where he was following him, and I was like, he looks familiar. You know, he looks real familiar. And then when they got to the scene where he got to the park, and he sat down, he goes, "Why are you following me?" You know, and he turned. I was like, "That's Jed Clampett."
Mountain Man.
Wow.
I don't know. Let's see. Audrey Hepburn went from a movie with Cary Grant to one with
Clampett.
kind of took a turn downhill, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, she's in lots of them with several different John Wayne and
Yeah, a lot of people.
What was that Clint Eastwood movie? Oh goodness, probably mid '60s, early '70s, where he went back into. He was assigned to go. It's a DI assigned to go back to the Marines to help like this
Oh.
group.
DI.
Yeah, and he come out. And he was
drill
supposed to-
instructor.
Yeah,
He's a drill instructor. Made the recon platoon all good again, and then they went to Grenada
Yes, yeah. What's the name of that?
or Grenada, however you say it.
What was it, Pink Cadillac?
No, that's the
What's the
other.
name of that?
That's the
I
other
don't-
channel.
I don't think I saw that.
It's really
Kelly's
good.
Heroes. I remember that one, but with that old Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. Don Rickles is a classic comedian. I mean, the things that he said, you would not be able to get away with today.
No way.
No way.
All right, let's get a Rodney joke in there while he's looking that up for us over there. But Rodney says his wife's a terrible cook. So at their house they pray after they eat.
Heartbreak Ridge.
Heartbreak
Heartbreak
Ridge.
Ridge, yeah.
Yes.
Golly.
Yeah, that was a really good.
We used to watch that station all the time.
The way they mess with like when they didn't have the same T-shirts on or whatever,
Yeah.
and take your shirts off, come back all the same T-shirt. They come back the next day, they're all wearing a white T-shirt, and he's wearing a black T-shirt. He's like, "Today's black T-shirt, gentlemen. Take your shirts off."
I thought you going back to the 60s. I thought, man, you talking about the most spaghetti westerns?
Oh, man.
It made him a star, though. You know, he was a star out there on Rawhide. But you know what's funny about it? He would probably ask him about it. He'd probably never admit to it. But one of the first movies he ever did in the mid-50s was Francis the Mule Joins the Navy.
I think I seen that.
The Talking Mule. He was in it.
He was in it?
Really? So it was a movie about a talking mule.
Yeah, there were several of them. The first start, I think, it's The Talking Mule Joins the Army.
Yeah.
And then they made about 3 or 4 of them. Donald O'Connor was and Chill Wills was the voice of the donkey.
Is that where Mr. Ed come off of? Something
Probably
like
did.
that?
Probably, you know, because they copy everything out there in Hollywood anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Francis the Talking Mule.
They're doing a lot of reboots too. A lot of old movies or older movies they're bringing back, redoing.
Yeah, didn't they do a McHale's Navy again or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, they're going to get in that. They all did. Ain't nobody to bring back in nostalgia there.
A whole new cast.
I was thinking about the day with Tim Conway. He was real young when that come on there. And he died and he was 90 years old. So, man, time has passed.
There's a show out. It's a FX show. It's called The Old Man.
The Old Man.
And it's got oh my goodness, he just got over cancer. Oh my goodness, I have to look it up. I can't think at all. Anyways, it's Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges.
It's got Jeff Bridges in it, and he plays like this old man that has this like past, and every episode it reveals a bit of his past. Like he worked for a different type of organization and stuff like that, and it's really intense. But Jeff Bridges, as old he is, and I really think he just went through cancer or something. Like he just went with a major sickness, and he's doing these fighting scenes and stuff like that. And I'm like, got all
maybe
these.
They got a good stunt double.
Yeah.
I think about what's his name, the one I think does his own stunts, isn't it?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
He's about the one that does. So.
Well, that's because he has the power of the aliens.
Is that it?
Yeah, all that Scientology.
Well, that's Scientology.
He's the top of the heap there.
Yeah, he is. He brings a lot of money in.
Brings in that dough for him.
Yeah.
I
For
don't
him.
get it. Anybody believe that stuff?
Yeah.
Leah.
Remy?
Yeah, she did.
I watched a lot of those.
Yeah.
She grew up in it.
Yeah.
Didn't she?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, yeah. She's pretty outspoken about it, and it's pretty bad. Man.
And if you go on YouTube and you can watch different stuff about it, and you'll see like how they attack people they got phones and cameras, and they're picking at you, waiting for you to hit them or something. And,
Yep.
Oh, well.
Anyway, that's...
Stay away from it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No point to that stuff.
So, Brett.
Yeah, let's get down.
You are from El Reno, correct?
Yep. Born and raised. Well, I was born in Okarche, but
Oh, okay.
We won't hold that against you.
couple days later, they brought me home, I guess. They didn't leave me.
Now, you were born at the hospital there at
Okarche, yeah. It's no longer there.
Okay.
That's how old I am.
Wow.
They got a hospital.
Barely got a...
That's out back at Ison's area.
Yeah, that's right.
Close.
Oh, I like me some Ishins.
Ison's chicken. Yeah.
Somebody was telling me they went the other day and it was $17 a bird.
Yeah.
$17 for a chicken.
So it went up $1. It was 16.
I'm like, man.
$17 for chicken.
The last time I was there, 16, and then like 8 for okra.
I think the last time I went there, it's been a while. Last time I went there was like, I think 11 or $12 for
That's
chicken.
been a while.
It's been a while. What they do now, 17, you got to kill it and cook it yourself.
Be like Walmart. Go sack your own groceries and
Yeah.
eat your own groceries.
Yeah.
Whenever I go through the self-checkout at Walmart or something, and I get done, I hand my receipt, I always go, "Thank you for shopping at Walmart," really loud.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you know.
You ought to get a 1099 or something. Man.
The prices aren't that low.
Nah, in fact, prices, even they started putting that in there. They didn't used to be there. The prices may vary between what you see on the app and you see in the store.
Yeah.
Because you look at it in the app and you go there, $2 more than what. It's like, all right, it sounds like false advertisement to me. But what gets me is that all these lazy bones, they got the lazy bone department now. You just call it up and go pick it up, or you have your help go pick it up.
Your help?
Yeah. Press your button on your hatchback and let them load it for you, and then come home.
Go home, you know. Yeah, America, the industrial people we are, industrious. Yeah. Well, let's see here. You just retired from the Oklahoma City Fire Department. How many years were you there?
A little over 25.
25 years. That's,
Did it go by real quick?
Man, I can't remember.
That's quick.
It was at times, and at times was really slow, but it was a very rewarding career.
Yeah.
You probably saw a lot of different things most people never see.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff most people will never see. Hopefully they would never see.
Yeah.
But
now, I've always had a question about firefighters. I've known some throughout years, just a few, like Jacob's dad,
yeah.
You know, that stuff. We had our old church, we had a guy named Paul. He was a firefighter and stuff. Now, there's a couple of things that I noticed about firefighters. Two main things.
They're crazy.
One, 98% have a mustache. Right?
It's close. It's probably not that. Okay. It used to be way worse. And now the trend's picking back up. The mustache trend is picking back up.
Well, did either one of them guys on emergency have one? I don't remember.
Chet.
The older one?
Chet, no. His name was
the truck.
Yeah, he was on the engine. Yeah, he wasn't one of the.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking.
Yeah, he was on the back of the engine.
Right. Yeah.
Two guys, Johnny and Roy, on the squad. They were clean shaven. You know.
I started that song for you there.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually still watch that every now and then.
and
go.
That ain't right.
Yeah, that's not right. Kind of like backdraft. Yeah, that don't happen.
Well, the other thing I noticed was there's a brotherhood there. Like you see that, like when we went to your retirement party.
Yeah. You
know, that was the first time I ever stepped foot in a fire station at all.
Really?
Yeah, and you know, just how everybody was chilling. You know, but there was, you know, I've heard of stories. I saw just a little bit there. There's this brotherhood. I mean,
oh yeah.
What does that like come from? Just going through everything together? Or?
Oh yeah. I mean, you live with those guys a third of your life, you know, because you know you're there for 24 hours. You're not just there for 8 hours during the day and go home to your family. I mean, you're there for 24 hours. So, I mean, you wake up in the middle of the night with them and have to see their ugly mug as well as they see you, you know, as you stumble out to the rig and try to figure out where you're going. But yeah, it's just you know, it's just like your family because you spend so much time with them, just like our church is, you know, right. Basically. Because I mean, how much time you spend with people at church?
Yeah,
a lot these days. I mean, here now. I mean, back before Travis came, I mean, we didn't, but nowadays, I mean, we spend.
After how long have you been a member of Highland? Would you say since you were little?
Well, I went there since I was little, but I got saved and baptized when I was about 14.
About 14.
Yeah.
But you've been here basically most of your
My
life.
mom, my grandma, my aunt, cousins, they're all charter members, so.
All right.
Basically, I've been, as far as I know, I've been going there since. Right after I got back from Okarche.
They carried you in the door.
Yeah.
Been there ever since.
Yeah. Because
that's not bad.
My dad didn't go a lot back then, but my mom, you know, she went. I mean, we usually went to Sunday school every Sunday that I can remember.
Yeah.
So would you say that since Travis has come in, there's been significant change?
There's a lot of change. It's not just you know, like we talk about all the time, it's not just a checklist of that's what I did for Sunday and Wednesday, and now I just go do my other stuff. I mean, it's you know, I see guys all during the week, and you know what, my wife, you know, she talks to other ladies during the week. I mean, so I mean, there's always you know, of course this summer's been a little bit different because my wife broke her leg, but you know, like last summer we had a few parties at my house and during the summer and swam and, you know, had Phil and his family and a couple other ones from church over, and, you know, so there's always something going on. And if there ain't nothing going on, I mean, you can make it or join somebody else that's doing something.
Yeah. Well, like the other night, was it Wednesday night? You know, a few of us just sat in the auditorium, just talking. And
I know. I was like, got home. I was like, boy, man, it's past my bedtime.
I know. I was like, I got in my car. I was like, what time? Whoa.
It's 9 o'clock. It's past my bedtime. Yeah. I know. You know, which I mean, that's awesome that you can just sit around and, you know, chew the fat, so to speak. I mean, we all got it.
One thing, yeah, that's for sure.
Some more than others.
But yeah, that's a lot of difference. Like from when the mega churches, you know, if you ever attended to one of them or went to one of them,
yeah,
I went and kind of, I don't know, checked them out, spied on them. I want to see what this like, you know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to see what this all about.
Competition.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, so you see what it's all about. And you know, those people, they came in, they didn't really talk to each other. They came in, they heard him give the message. They got up and played the rock and roll songs and all that good stuff. Passed the bucket. Then they'd hush them out and they'd hop in the car to run out there 90 mile an hour, and the next group would come in.
Yep.
And so they never really there wasn't any conversation or interacting between any of them people. It was just that checklist again.
Yep.
I got Sunday done. Be back next week.
I'm good. We'll see you.
Well, I know small churches that are like that,
Yeah,
you know,
well.
and it's just.
There's some in this town that's like that. I mean,
I mean, it depends on your culture, your church culture, you know, and
Yeah.
over the years, our church culture has changed to
sure
where,
is.
Oh yeah.
you know, there's a lot more connection, hanging out, that type of stuff, and you know, so that I know small churches that they do that same thing. They come in, they sit down, they listen to a message, and you know, out the door, and you know, then they go do their own thing until the next week, and
Right.
you know, it's taken, I think, several years for our church to get into this, you know, and I think there's still a lot more ground to go, but
Oh
you
yeah.
know, it's nice to be able to sit back and, you know, not rush and just talk and
Yeah. Not to be hurried to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know that you got to get home
Because we
and
get there early on Sundays and sit around and talk and everything before church. Everybody seems to get there early, quite a bit early, most of the Sundays, you know. And
I think that's really that's one of the things that's really helped change the culture a little bit. What was the Sunday morning, getting there early, getting together, you know, eating breakfast.
Yeah.
Somebody bring a little something, and then we pray.
right,
You know,
the prayer.
we get together.
Prayer time, yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the best.
Yep,
A lot of
that's
churches
good.
don't ever do what we're doing there, even on Sundays and Wednesday evenings. You're not going to see that in any church actually that I've been in where you saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, prayer doesn't have that. It doesn't have that value.
Have you ever read that book, Fresh Wind, Fresh Fire, by Jim Cymbala?
No, I haven't read that.
It's a great read. It's basically this Jim Cymbala. He's a pastor that took over a small church in Brooklyn, and it was in the hood. There was, I mean, prostitutes, drug dealers right outside. I think there was less than 30 people in the whole church, and he went in, and no Bible college, no seminary, just had been discipled and, you know, trained within the church. And he took this church and through some pretty big moments there, and just allowing God to lead them. And they developed a Tuesday night prayer time.
Right.
And so they would get together Tuesday nights, and Brother Cymbala would give a little, you know, devotion or something, a little scripture, and they would just pray. And they would get out and pray. Well, that grew and that grew and that grew, and you know, they were praying for souls and all kinds of stuff and people, and all this was happening, and so people were getting saved, and it was from doctors to lawyers to prostitutes to pimps to all kinds of stuff were getting saved. And Tuesday night, he tells a little bit about the stories of Tuesday night of just, someone come up with a gun and try to shoot him and things like that. And, they stopped and they prayed for him and he ain't getting saved. And now he's like a minister or something. And so all these stories are just prayer. And their church, that was their commitment, was to get together and to pray and to call out to God and to seek Him. And so now you can go on YouTube and search Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, and it's huge. And they ended up moving. They moved into this. It's an old theater that they redid and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like his wife does the music, does the choir and stuff. Can't read a lick of music. She's wrote songs. A lot of the songs that you'll like find on YouTube, she wrote, and that type of stuff. And it's just a shift. And so that the biblical principles of the church praying together is essential. It's essential for us, for us to do what God wants us to do, for Him to bring us souls. Because it's all proportionate. God's only going to bring us what we can handle. And so if there's if you have a church that's got schisms and things going on, He's not going to bring you 500 people, that type of stuff. But prayer, I think it's centered. It started to center us.
Well, yeah, because you see that in the Book of Acts in that first century.
Yeah,
there was a whole lot of prayer going on. They really didn't move or act until they prayed and got command from the Holy Spirit to go forth and do what they did. Mm-hmm. And of course, like I said, there's no schisms in that body. They were always of one accord. They willingly gave up everything they had for that purpose.
Right.
They sacrificed everything. Barnabas, he sold all his property, remember, and he brought it in. So these people were willing to sacrifice everything for Christ. So they literally took what he said: deny self, take up your cross, and follow me.
Right, and the thing was, they did it together.
Right,
it wasn't
and it was as a group. Yeah, it just wasn't individuals going out. They went out as a group.
Yeah, and
in fact, Christ, when He sent them out, the apostles, they went out at least 2.
Right.
Apostle
Paul waited for his team and that type of stuff before he really.
But there's only one place where he wasn't with them at first.
Right.
I believe that's where, when he went to Corinth. Was that where he took up with Amanda's wife? What was her name? I'm trying to think of their name.
Went blank.
I'm gone blank.
Too, but the ones that were in the tent business.
We better get this because we're gonna have some bad comments in the comment page.
Bad comments.
I'm gone blank. How do I not know this?
I don't either. I mean.
Oh my goodness.
Who was that? Now we got dead air time. So sing a song for us. Sing a song for us here.
Everybody's on their Bible app trying to figure out what's happening.
I'm gone. Totally. Aquila and Priscilla.
That's it.
There you go. Acts 18.
That was the only time.
Boom.
That was the only
Good
time
job.
he ever hit. That's the only time he ever hit town on his own. Basically, was on that trip there where he left them behind and he went on, and that's when he took up with them. Which, of course, you see what their relationship, how far they went into the church after that. So,
well, and you see his epistles, to these churches.
Oh yeah.
And he wasn't. It wasn't individuals. It was y'all, ye, the church.
Right.
As a whole, and
it was like Travis talked the other night when Paul was executed. There was a whole lot of other ones executed at the same time because they were all basically in that group and they weren't denying Christ at all.
Yep.
Nero went and blamed the fire on the Christians, of course.
Right.
That brought everybody against the Christians, and then of course that was an excuse to execute all these people. So.
Yep.
We've got to understand that that's not really foreign to it shouldn't be very foreign to us because Jesus said those that live godly shall suffer persecution, and so there's a promise that if you're living godly, if you're following Christ, if you're spiritually discerning and you're doing, you're gonna get persecution, you're gonna get blowback. And so, that could be a measuring stick to those that everything's going super smooth.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I think
If you're not getting persecuted, you may not be doing what you should be doing.
Right. I think this country right now, when you look at it, some of Christians are getting kind of shocked because they're not as welcome as they used to be in places. Now the Christian shows up, he's kind of the outcast in the group.
Yep.
Now, and then people don't know how to take it, and so they're getting a look at it. But a lot of that isn't because of Christ, man. It's just because of the political influence that we've tried to put out there instead of just we're making mad the people we're supposed to try to reach, and we're not going to reach them on a political issue. We need to come back and give them the gospel.
Right, exactly.
The gospel. If we make them mad because we gave them the gospel, that's one thing. But if we make them mad because of some political issue, that's not right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good point. The political side of that, I don't know exactly when it started, but this idea of being a Christian and American has merged to a patriotic Christianity.
Right.
And what happens is you face a dilemma because you can't serve two masters.
Right.
And so are you going to be a patriot? And there's nothing wrong with being a patriot.
No.
But is Christ your supreme? Is he your sovereign Lord? He's your supreme. I mean, that you get into a little problem there.
He's our king. We serve him and his kingdom. We belong to a different kingdom than this one. So but we can't separate that in this country. That Barton dude, what's his name? He's really heavy into the the Constitution. In fact, he put out a Bible with the Constitution and all that stuff in it. And like somehow that the Constitution was some special document from God or nothing. No, it was a man-made document.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be interpreted in a certain way, but then you got people come along who'll reinterpret it every time, like we're getting now.
Right. And you have such and Satan's really good. He's at what he's doing, and he's taking political parties against each other.
Right.
You've got all this fight over something that is what we believe Antichrist.
Right.
It's not biblical.
Yep.
You take heavy deals like abortion, right? And so all the uproar of that, or paying college funds and things like that.
People fighting over that money. Over money.
That's all it's about is the money.
Exactly.
Well, it's sad.
Exactly.
That's the squeak. Well, it's a lot goes back to the squeaky wheel gets grease, and everybody wants to be squeaky wheel these days. I mean, they all want to, instead of doing what you're supposed to and being, humble, and everybody wants to be.
Yeah, and being content.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the man, basically.
They all want their piece of the pie, too.
Yes.
Regardless of what the cost is. And so
Yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy world we're living in. There's one thing I sent you. Did you watch that video on that little demon that I sent you?
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's Disney's. They own that FX and FXX.
Yes.
And so they put this out, this little demon video cartoon now. That's
It's what they call an adult cartoon. So
Yeah, I've seen the.
But how's that going to get censored out? I guarantee you, if it's out there, then kids are going to watch it.
Well, and if you watch, you sent that, and then somebody else said something, and then somebody shared a tweet that senator or whatever he was watching. He watched it was at the end of the LSU game, and that commercial came on. And he tweets about how he couldn't get to the remote fast enough because his kids were in the room.
Right.
And so I started looking into it. Of course, the Wiccan mother, had sexual relations with the devil. And so he's got this 13-year-old daughter, Chrissy.
Yeah.
And she's Antichrist. And her and her mom try to live a normal life. And then Satan is trying to intervene and stuff, but Satan's voice is Danny DeVito.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Danny.
And then the daughter's voice in the show is actually his daughter, Lucy DeVito.
Right.
In real life. And I watched a little deal. They had this. I remember where I saw it. It might have been Facebook News or something. Anyways, a little video clip of an interview. of the cast and producers, and it had them in it. They talked about how, they're excited about it and, all this other stuff. And it's dark. Right. It's very, very dark. But, yeah, kids are going to watch it.
Yeah, kids are going to get to it one way or another. But
yeah.
You may not let them, but they go over to Bobby's house, and Bobby's in there watching it, and they're going to see it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, parents allow different things for the kids, and some of them don't pay attention to what the kids are doing at all anyways.
Well, there's something, like, you take Disney, for instance, Now, we have Disney Plus, and we watch a lot of the same stuff. We don't watch a lot of the new stuff. And we have a rule in our house that if the girls want to watch something new, we have to watch it first.
Right.
Because, the Turning Red movie that was on Disney Plus. We made the mistake of, we didn't really look into it, and so we made the mistake of watching it with our kids. And as far as, I guess it was terrible, but it wasn't. I don't know. It had so many things, like the kid was super rebellious against mom, and talking back to mom, and
you got a lot of those out there, kid shows like that.
Yep.
Talked about being on her period and all this other stuff, and it's like, this is supposed to be a kid show, and so that's when we were like, oh, okay, we're gonna do it. Plus, I'm sure y'all saw the little clips of the producers of Disney saying on Zoom meetings, hey, we're getting these queer stuff into Disney, and we're gonna put it in and all that stuff. Well, there's like what's it called? Oh, Zombies. There's a Disney show called Zombies, and they have 3 movies. And the first 2 movies, they aren't terrible. They're really kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But the third one came out, and of course, we had to institute that rule, and so one of my girls was like, hey, I want to watch Zombies 3, and I said, okay, I'll take a look at it. So I watched probably 30 minutes. I was like, no, because it's subliminal, and it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And so much of that gets into your head, gets into your kid's head, and then, when they talk back to you, and they...
Yeah, they're just reenacting.
Yeah. And then they don't understand, or they freak out when they get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm sorry.
Well, ain't one of the family members, didn't he come out transgender or whatever, and now it's like Disney totally turned.
Yeah.
Well, they got that one cartoon out there, Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
It's out there. Well, this was just in there the last couple of days where...
You've been watching Peppa Pig?
I don't watch it, but I got a grandkid that does when she comes over. But she's going to have to stop watching it, I guess.
Pam's like, turn that off.
What's
Fox News or something? Come on.
Grow up.
I get enough of Alvin the Chipmunks. Hour after hour of it.
Oh, my goodness.
But anyway, this classmate of the Peppa the Pig is Penny the Polar Bear, and Penny the Polar Bear's got 2 moms. They're bringing lesbianism into the cartoons, so and that's what your kids are going to see if you let them, tune into that. So it's a minefield out there, and you're going to have to, preview those things before you allow your children to watch them.
Yeah.
And Disney isn't Disney anymore. I don't care.
No, it's not.
They're looking.
No.
It's not the old Disney.
No.
We watch, and a lot of cartoons, a lot of kids stuff. Obviously, it's very pointed towards kids to groom and indoctrinate and stuff. But I was shocked. We went and saw. One of my girls wanted to go see the new Sonic 2 movie, and we went and saw it. And I looked previews. I did all stuff, and a lot of people were saying it was a wholesome movie, and it was. It was a wholesome movie. There was no, at least I didn't pick up on any agendas, that type of stuff. But those are so rare. You were playing that song Maverick. The Top Gun Maverick movie. Yeah. That was pretty, it wasn't, there wasn't any kind of, that I really picked up that was.
Well, it was too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. My grandkid's seen it, so, hopefully it wasn't too bad.
It's really good.
You didn't fly by the Scientology place.
No, but they made
Buzz the tower.
They made a lot of money after he finished that movie.
Oh, yeah, I bet they did. Still raking it in.
Yeah. So much money. Gosh.
Ridiculous.
Man, that's... I've watched some of those documentaries, and man, they're so much money.
It's amazing with that thing. And, man, I don't know how people get so sucked into that deal. And then, like Leah Remy was showing how they try to get out, and then, people following them to the airports, the bus station, and man, that'd be kind of scary.
I think you're going to get that basically from just about any cult that you get involved in. When you try to leave it, you're going to have problems.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jim Jones, he's killed them all off. One that didn't drink the Kool-Aid, that was terrible. About 1,000 people, about that, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, Mormonism too. Polygamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? The 80s, 90s, where they tried to bring it back or something. They were really they were really pushing hard to bring polygamy back and things like that. It's like,
Well, the only reason they couldn't have it was because they couldn't come in as a state until they did do away with it, take it out. But no, I doubt most of them ever quit thinking about that. That's part of it,
Sure.
But to become a state, they had to give it up,
Yeah.
But the way this country's going, it may be back in there, Everything else is, so, but I'll be looking for that coming down the road, too. Although,
Well,
it seems like a bigger headache, but
one's enough.
Yeah.
one's plenty.
Yes. No kidding.
Well, you say that? No kidding. We love them, though, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Better cover up here. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. We're gonna go to the flower shop on the way home and after this.
Oh,
What's this for? Just thought about you. Matter of fact, the podcast wasn't very good. You don't need to listen to it.
In fact, it didn't even record.
That's right.
yeah.
Oh, well,
That's crazy.
My wife wouldn't be surprised. She like him go to the flower shop? I don't think so.
Now that was shocker, huh?
Yeah, that'd be the shocker.
What'd you do?
Yeah, she'd like, well, what'd you really do? Yeah.
That's the red flag. You're
Yeah.
bringing them flowers.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's crazy. But,
Oh, goodness.
oh,
It's crazy. Well, it just shows how many more people, time is short and how much people need Jesus,
I know. Well,
Gotta
I'm
get
looking
that.
at the direction we've been going here at this church, and hopefully, I think a lot of people got out of the idea of, over the centuries, you could probably say in the last couple hundred years especially, but it hasn't become a personal relationship. Everybody's grown into this religious deal, like you said, a checklist deal, and it's all religion, and there's no personal relationship with Jesus Christ in it. And it's not until you come into a personal, and you got to seek it,
Sure.
You got to go after it. You got to want it. You
Yeah.
got to desire it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to come and say, "Oh, please, please." He's not going to do it. You must seek him out.
Yeah, if you don't want it, it takes up too much of your life. You're definitely not going to go after it. But if you do, it's life changing, and it's a lot better life.
Right. And it should be your life from that point on. But most people, it's an add-on to what they do. Well, I got church on Sunday. I got bowling on Monday. I play softball on Tuesday, and then do card night gambling on. I don't make it to Wednesday night service.
Yeah.
That'd be too much.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is in this country.
Yep. I give God my hour or two on Sunday, and then I'm done.
That's it for the week.
Instead of
That's so.
And there's not that praying that we were talking about in that either. Most people don't pray during the week either,
No.
unless the house blows up or something, and oh Jesus.
well, that's one of those deals. That's how 911 calls are. Is every call we would make, was a bad call.
Right.
Most time, and everybody was searching for Jesus about that time,
Sure.
because and what they were doing before that, who knows? But when everything goes bad, everybody, where's Jesus at? I need car wrecks. They're hollering, Jesus, help me, and maybe they should have been praying before that.
Right.
They might not have been in a car wreck. I don't know.
It might have been like that old guy. What's her name? Passion Brown, Peaches Brown, or whatever it was. They advertised after they had her on the news. That fire,
Oh, yeah.
that fire they had their fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, what'd she say? What was her?
Brown was her last name.
Last name was Brown. You know. What she says is nobody got
Nobody got time for that.
Yes.
Nobody got time for that. I'd come down and give me a cool pop. Place it on fire.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time. That was excellent, man. She ended up doing a reality show for Runner Stand somewhere out there.
Oh, yeah, she got a couple commercials out of that. And she's probably living in a mansion now.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man. I think up there where she was living, I think them catch on fire about once a week.
Yeah.
Firewood area.
Yeah, we called it Firewood Lane.
Yeah.
Instead of Lirewood Lane, it was Firewood Lane. Oh, man.
Okay, it is.
Crazy stuff.
Oh, crazy. Well, as we kind of get to a close, I think.
You want to close this up?
Yeah, we had a good time conversating with Brett. Thanks for coming and
appreciate
hanging
it.
out with us. And
Thank you all for having me.
We'll invite you back one of these days.
One of these days.
Yeah.
You're like, well, maybe not.
Maybe
it's
not.
always funner to have a guest on, anyways, because it seems like the conversation is a little bit better than it's just me and Jimmy Nick. It's like, okay, so
we done heard all of our stories.
Yeah, that's right. We're thinking, while the other person's talking, we're thinking, okay, I already said that story. We already talked about that. Relationship. We
try to pull something out of thin air.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. We're going to plan on having some returning guests come back, and a lot of things have happened.
Since they've been here, if their relationship with the Lord, how it's grown and everything.
Yeah.
Because some of them were basically new when they first came in anyway, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Like salvation.
Josh Neves. I mean, he was pretty new when y'all had him on.
Who was our first guest? Do you remember our first?
Was
guest?
it Jace or Michael?
It was Jennifer.
Yeah.
Oh, Jennifer.
Her song.
Yeah. Jennifer. That's right. She was the first one because she had just got saved.
Yeah, I mean that was the work of God. How she ended up at our church.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you messing up online, which it really wasn't a mess up. I guess it was intended.
Yeah,
for her
God
to
had
see
a purpose.
That.
Yeah.
And look what's happened since.
Yep.
Well, you take about her, Josh Neves, and the reason that him and his family came to our church.
Yep.
And what God has done since then. So there's a lot of updates. I don't want to give their stories. I want them to tell it, but
right.
A lot of things have changed. We got some new people. We've got some, some things like that. So definitely we'll have some returning guests, and
things are happening. So.
I think we've been trying to find time at Brett, and we just, what was it, Sunday? Yeah. Last Sunday or whatever, like, let's do a podcast. Hey, you okay? Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
So here we are. We got good stuff.
And Brett has been involved in our inconsistency. I'm trying to record.
I'm very inconsistent.
Yeah, it's like it's always like, plan for tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, we did.
Can't do it. Okay, plan for next week. So yeah, it gets busy. I have a feeling things are going to slow down just a little bit.
I know. Pam asks me every day. He called yet? I mean, he canceled yet?
Yeah.
Me? Phil? Yeah, I know.
He canceled yet?
I canceled everything for Thursday to do the podcast, and then he's like, "No podcast today." I'm like, "Oh, jeez."
I know.
And he's like, "Friday," and I'm like, "Okay, let's see if I can work that in."
Thankfully you were. I wasn't sure.
What'd you have to do today? Feed the horse?
Well, I always got to feed the horses. That's busier now that I'm retired than when I worked. I'd take my wife to the doctor, pick up the grandkids from school,
got a lot of honey
feed the horses, slop the hogs, typical farm deal.
Yeah.
Typical in-town farming. No, I don't got no pigs. Just horses and dogs.
Horses and dogs.
Man.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. What you got?
I got one. Let's do the Williams brothers again, since we're talking about Jesus a little bit today. So.
Okay.
There we go.
For those that been born again and know what God can do and know what he done for you.
Yes,
You
amen.
need to spread the word. You need to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Tell somebody about Jesus. How he set you free. Tell somebody. Tell somebody about Jesus. Tell somebody about the goodness of love. You need to tell somebody. Tell somebody about Jesus. How he set you free. Give you the victory. Tell somebody. Tell somebody about Jesus. Tell somebody about the goodness of love.
All right, people, tell somebody. This is Jimmy Nick,
And this is Phil, and thank you to our guest Brett.
and adios.
Thank you.
Till next time.
All right.